Acha ji, this is your teacher Sir Haris Bhatt and you are seeing my YouTube channel Learn Accounting with Sir Haris. So today we are going to solve the question of company accounts from AS Accounting, May, June 22, 23. So May, June 22, 23 we are going to solve, and this is from AS Accounting and the topic is company accounts. So this is one of the difficult questions we were having in company accounts, not that easy. Again, we have to go reverse in this question. If I believe that I have seen after 22, I have seen many questions in which we have to go reverse to find the share capital at the start, right? And you have been given the amounts after the issuance of right shares or bonus shares. But sometimes the formats are different. So K Limited, May, June 22, 23, financial year ends on 31st December 2021. So our financial year will end on 31st December 2021. The company's income statement for the year ended on that date has already been prepared. The following information was available at the year end. So it means that income statement has already been prepared. Means statement of profit and loss has already been calculated. हाँ, तो 8% डिबेंचर दिए हुए 1,20,000 के 8% is the finance cost. Bank overdraft current liability है. Dividend paid is given. Inventory. This inventory is basically closing inventory. Why, sir? Because statement of profit and loss is already prepared. So this will be treated as closing inventory. Non-current assets, ordinary share capital, 0.25 each. Amount is 4,80,000. So the per share value is less than 1. It means the number of share will be higher than the amount. So 4,80,000 divided by 0.25. Let's see. 4,80,000. 0.25, 1920 000. These are the shares. Currently, we have 1920 000 shares. Other payables 2,700, other receivables 1,400. Profit for the year is given. Retained earnings at 1st January 133 000. This is very important. Students have asked me, sir, retained earnings should include profit for the year because, see, because the data given in the question, the date is 31st December 2021. But that's not true actually. Because the data is given on 31st December, but retained earnings value is given at 1st January 2020. So it does not include profit for the year. We have to include profit only in retained earnings I'm talking about, only. Other all items are given at the end of the year. The values are given at the end of the year, which is on 31st December 2021. Even share premium. It means that the share premium includes all the shares which has been issued during the year, and that the share premium has been included in this amount. Whatever share has been issued at a premium in the current year. Trade payables are given, trade receivables are given. On 1st July, the directors had made a right issue of 1 ordinary share for every 2 ordinary shares in issue. The right issue was made at 0.35 per share and was fully subscribed. So first of all, let's start going for this particular question. So the per share value for right share is 0.25 plus 0.1, that is 0.35. So it means that 0.1 is going to be the share premium. 0.1 per share is the share premium because he has clearly mentioned that the shares are right shares are issued at a price of 0.35. This is also known as offer price because the right share are issued at that price, so can be known as offer price. So the per share value is 0.25 plus 0.1 and that is 0.35. The number of shares after the issue of right share are 1920 000. Sir, how come? Because these shares, these values are given at 31st December 2021, where the right shares are issued on 1st July 2021 before these items, before 31st December, or but before the ordinary shares and the share premium. This includes the share capital, includes the amount of right shares. The share premium includes the amount of share premium on right shares because the shares have been issued 6 months back. The right shares have already been issued 6 months back. Whatever the amounts have been given currently. जो भी amounts आपके पास दी हुई है शेयर कैपिटल की और शेयर प्रीमियम की, ये राइट शेयर उनसे 6 महीने पहले इशू किए गए थे. Okay. So let's suppose that the old shares, what should I write? Original shares, right? जरूरी नहीं है कि you will write the name original share. You can write share at the start of the year. Yeah, ordinary share at the beginning. Your ordinary share on 1st January 2021. वो भी लिख सकते हैं. But original share means that whatever has been done in the current year, before that, whatever the original share, that is X. Right? So now, how much right shares will become? Yeah, what is the fraction of the right shares? The quota system is, let's see, that is 1 share for every 2 ordinary share held. So quota system is 2:1. Okay. So right shares, what is going to be our right shares? That is X over 2 multiplied by 1. Right? So 1x over 2, yeah, 1 by 2x, yeah, x over 2 into 1, even that is fine. Now, the current shares, what is the value of the current shares, including the original shares, which are X plus the right shares, X over 2 is equal to how many? 1920000. These are the shares now. This is not the amount of shares. This is the number of shares we have after the issuance of right shares. Because right shares are issued on 1st July. So I have supposed, or let the original shares are X. So right shares are issued at the ratio of 2:1. So right shares are X over 2 into 1. So now the current shares are X, original shares plus right shares X over 2 is equal to 1920000. Because these shares are given in the question. Original shares plus right shares. The shares are given 1920000. But that is the number of shares, not the amount of shares. So you will take the LCM, that is 2. So this will become 2x plus x over 2 is equal to 1920000. So this will become 3x over 2 is equal to 1920000. 2 will be multiplied by going there, other side of the picture, and then it will divide by 3. So I can write here 1920000 multiplied by 2, multiplied by 2 divided by 3. So how much it will become? 128, 12,80,000. So 12,80,000 is going to be the original shares. So now you can calculate the right shares easily. How come, sir? There are 2 methods. Number 1, right shares are 1920000 minus the original shares, because X is the original shares, 12,80,000. So what is the amount of right shares? What is the number of right shares? I'm sorry. 640,000. There is another way. Right shares, the quota system says that the right shares 12,80,000 is the old number of shares, and the right shares are issued with a quota system 2:1. 12,80,000 divided by 2 multiplied by 1. Again, you will get 6,40,000 shares. So you can use both the ways, whatever suits you. Now I will go for the entry. You have completely seen this in all my lectures that I have always gone for the entries. There are reasons behind, because there is less chance of error. Number 1. Number 2, entries are supposed to be passed in the exam. वो एग्जाम में एंट्रीज पूछ लेता है, फिर क्या करेंगे? बिकॉज एंट्रीज आर ऑलवेज मोर डिफिकल्ट. तो वो आपको आती होंगी तो फिर आसान हो जाता है, और फिर एंट्रीज पास करना पेपर में सवाल वो पूछ लेता है, फिर मुश्किल हो जाती है. आजकल लेजर अकाउंट्स के सवाल मोस्टली वो पूछ रहे हैं, बट आई बिलीव दैट मे बी दिस टाइम he can ask for the entries also. So bank is going to be debited. So that is 6,40,000 multiplied by 0.35, because that is the amount of right shares. 0.25 plus 0.1, 0.35. 224,000. Then share capital will give it a credit. That is 6,40,000 multiplied by, it is always written with the face value with 0.25. So 6,40,000 into 0.25, what will come? 160,000. And then we will credit also the share premium 6 lakh 40,000 into 0.1, and that is 64,000. So this is the entry: bank debit, share capital credit, and share premium credit. But these amounts of 1,60,000 is already included in the amount of share capital given in the question. That is already included. This amount of share premium is already included in the amount of share premium. Sir, how come? Let me explain you. Ordinary share capital is given 4,80,000. Out of that, 1,60,000 is the amount of right shares with face value. Then share premium is given 90,000. 64,000 is basically the amount of right shares which is included in 90,000. Got it? So sometimes we believe that reversal method is obviously tough, but when you do practice of these questions, it will become easier with the passage of time. Easier तो I won't say easier. Easier तो नहीं है, ये है. Easier तो कभी नहीं हो सकता, लेकिन गलती नहीं होगी, पेपर में सॉल्व कर लेंगे आप. Calculate the profit from operation for the year. But a profit for the year is given in the question. That is 99,400, and you have to add debenture interest, because we know that from profit from operation we will subtract less finance cost, which is 1,20,000 into 8%, that is 9,600. So we can easily get profit from operation. Let me calculate here. Or operating profit, that is 99,400, which is the profit for the year, plus finance cost or interest cost, that is going to be how much? 1,20,000 into 8%, 9,600. So what is the answer? 109,000. So this is the profit from operation. 109,000 is the profit from operation. We will subtract finance costs from this 9,600 to get the profit for the year at 9,400, which is already given in the question. Okay. Next is calculate the amount raised by the right issue on 1st July. We are already done with that. Okay. We have also calculated the amount of share capital, not only the amount raised by the issue of shares. That is how much? Let me see. That is 2,24,000. But we also now know that what is the amount of share capital? The right shares, that is 1,60,000. The share premium on the right shares is 64,000. So let's move forward. May, June 22-23 is the question. Prepare a statement of changes in equity. Now, the statement of changes in equity wants us to start with the balance at 1st January 2021. And the amount is 7 marks are given. So that is because of the same reason. So let me prepare the statement of changes in equity. I'll prepare here. Why? Because it doesn't need a lot of working. Statement of changes in equity. So we have ordinary share capital first. Then we have share premium. Let's see. Share premium, then retained earnings, and then total. General reserve is not given in the question, so that's fine. And then we will go for the total. So let me write the balance first. So balance is not known, but I know the balance at the end. So I will write the balance at the end. Whatever is available with me, I will write here. So the amount of ordinary share capital at the end is given in the question, and that is 4,80,000, right? That is 4,80,000. The amount of share premium given in the question is basically 90,000. It is given. Okay. So I can write here, right shares, which has been issued, and the right share amount is 1,60,000. We have calculated that. And the share premium on these right shares, the amount is 64,000. Now you can go reverse to find the opening balance of the ordinary share capital. That is 4,80,000 minus 1,60,000. How much? 3,20,000. Right? So these are the amount of ordinary share capital. We can find the number of share also. How come? 3,20,000 divided by 0.25, you will get, that is 12,80,000 actually. That is the number of shares, original number of shares. Same is the case with share premium. That is 90,000 minus 64,000. 26,000 is the amount of share premium at the start, plus 64,000 we'll get the 90,000. But always remember, if the question has asked you to pass entries for bonus shares also, because it happens in the question that you have been given both things together, bonus share and right shares. So there is a question in which you have to go reverse twice, one for the bonus shares and one for right shares. I used to solve that question at the end, very end of the chapter, but it is there. I think it has come in February, March 22 or 23, some 22, I believe. So let's see. Now I will subtract dividend paid. That will be subtracted from retained earnings. So let's see what is the amount of retained earnings. Now retained earnings are given at 1st January. So they are not given retained earnings at the end, 1,33,000. They are the retained earnings at the start of the year. So I can write here easily 1,33,000. Can you tell me the total of this particular row? 3,20,000 plus 1,33,000 plus 26,000. We'll get the balance. Total of all the balances at the start. 479,000. Okay. Now we have to subtract dividend paid from the retained earnings. Rather, first we will go with the profit for the year. So I can write profit over here also. No, there is no sequence. You can write profit first, you can write profit at the end. It doesn't make any difference. So profit is going to be 99,400. So let me write the profit here. 99,400. And dividend paid is given. That is how much? Here, that is dividend paid, 96,000. So I will subtract 96,000. Dividend paid, 96,000. And it will be subtracted also from the total. And same is the case with 99,400 profit. It is going to be added. And right share total will also come over here. And that is how much? 2,24,000. Okay. So now you can calculate the retained earnings at the end, how much it is going to be. There can be revaluation upward, revaluation reserve can be created, downward can be there. Bonus shares can also be issued in this question, but it is not given. So we can go for the total of the retained earnings, and then we can go for the total of the total. Matlab grand total, you can say like that. So the amounts, if you see, 7 marks are given. So the marks has been awarded for the ordinary share capital balance at the start, then share premium at the start, retained earnings, dividend paid, profit, if you write it in the column, then the total column has got 1 mark only for all the amounts. Yes, 136,400. And the total 706,400. Okay, so this is how we have prepared the statement of changes in equity regarding this question. And we have to go reverse to find the missing figures also. And we have prepared some part of the question has already been there, and we are done with that. Okay, let's see what is the next part. Is there any problem? May, June 22, 23. Prepare the statement of financial position. So let's prepare the statement of financial position for this question. So it means that we have been asked to prepare the balance sheet also. So let me prepare the statement of financial position. It is quite easy. There is no difficulty level in this particular statement of financial position. Why, sir? Because all the items are almost given in the question. We have already calculated that. So we are not having any kind of issue except the format actually. Because we know that we have to prepare the non-current asset in the 3-column form. We have to write the non-current assets in the 3-column form according to the IS1. To format the balance sheet का होता है, आपको उसको follow करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है जी? So let's see, the non-current asset at cost is given, that is 9,60,000, and the depreciation is 1,70,000. So let me write. Non-current asset is given. Any name is given? No name is given. Okay, then 9,60,000, and the depreciation is 1 lakh. Okay, so sorry for the little late trouble. So we were preparing the balance sheet actually. So 9,60,000 minus 1,70,000. What is the amount? 7,90,000 will be the net book value. This is basically cost, depreciation, and then the net book value. So let me check the depreciation amount. That is 1,70,000. That's fine. Now I'll go with the current assets. In current assets, I have to write closing inventory. I will use abbreviation, but you can't use abbreviation. Then trade receivables. Then you have to write other receivables. Then cash at bank. I think cash at bank is not given because there is an overdraft as per my, but maybe overdraft will finish. Let me see. So first of all, the inventory is given, that is 49,400. Then trade receivables are not given in the question. No, trade receivables are given 18,900. 49,400. Let me write it down here. 49,400 and trade receivable 18,900. Then other receivables are given, and the amount of other receivables, which is prepaid expenses, can be known as 1,400, or accrued income, that is 1,400. Now let's talk about the bank overdraft. Bank overdraft will remain as bank overdraft. Why? Because the right shares are issued before the bank overdraft, right? So it will not be converted. It has come into my mind that is wrong, because whatever the bank overdraft is there, that is after the issuance of right shares. So it will not have any effect because right shares have been issued earlier than that, right? So let's go for the total of the current assets. 69,700, and the total assets 8,59,700 is going to be the total assets. Then the other part of the question is to write the equity and liability section for the balance sheet. So let me write the equity and liability section. Always remember that if you know how to prepare the statement of changes in equity and you have prepared that, then equity section will become very, very easy, because you just need to write the same amounts. Ordinary share capital, then you will write the share premium, then you will write revaluation reserves, if any, and you will write general reserve, and then you will go for the retained earnings. So we have already calculated that 4,80,000, 90,000, and 136,400. So I will write here 4,80,000, 90,000, and 136,400. So what is the total? Yes. $706,400. We have already calculated that actually. See, in the statement of change in equity, this is the answer of the equity section. So we can write that directly. You don't need to calculate that even. But if you will have done that, that doesn't make any difference. Now you have to write the current liabilities. Sorry, spelling has gone wrong, no problem. So in current liabilities, I have to go for the 8% debentures, because debenture is going to be our most important non-current liability, and the amount of debenture given in the question is 1,20,000. And now I will write the current liabilities, which includes trade payable, then other payable, and bank overdraft, and there can be some accrued expenses also, but that is a part of the other payable, so we don't need to write it separately, right? So let me write down the headings so it will be easier for you to understand. Equity and liabilities, then non-current liabilities, and then current liabilities. Right here so let's see what is the amount of the trade payables. So trade payables are given here, and the amount is 25,900. So let's write down here The amount is 25,900. Let's see the amount of other payables. Other payables are given here and the amount is 2,700. There is no change in the amounts of the balance sheet. That's why I told you that preparation of balance sheet is easy. The statement of financial position is going to be prepared in a very simple form. Bank overdraft is given, and that is 4,700. So I will write the bank overdraft either 4,700. Anything else? No. Trade payable, other payables have written. Dividend, bank overdraft, debenture. Okay. So what is the amount now? 33300. And this is 859700 is going to be the amount of equity and liabilities. So total assets are equal to equity and liabilities. We are done with that. And the statement of financial position, we believe that it is quite easy. So it means that if you have done some mistake in the preparation of equity section, even then you can prepare the balance sheet in the correct manner. How come? Because the ordinary share capital amount has the same, which is given in the question. Even the amount of share premium is the same. Only the retained earning amount has been changed, but right share has no effect on the retained earning, right? Because retained earnings plus profit for the year less dividend paid you will get. So the whole statement of financial position can be prepared easily, even without the involvement of the right shares. So I am just making you realize that पेपर सॉल्व करके आइएगा, छोड़ के ना आइएगा बिना वजह किसी बात के ऊपर कोई गंदा पॉइंट नहीं आया तो आप कहें जी पता नहीं क्या हो गया, कुछ भी नहीं हुआ, पेपर आपका अच्छा ही हुआ है. तो ये 2 नंबर थे. फिर 3 मार्क्स का था. स्टेटमेंट ऑफ चेंज इन इक्विटी 7 मार्क्स एंड द स्टेटमेंट ऑफ फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन कैरीज हाउ मच? लेट मी सी, 7 मार्क्स. ज्यादा नहीं भी उसने, बिकॉज देयर वाज नॉट सेट एनी काइंड ऑफ डिफिकल्टी लेवल वाज नॉट दैट हाई. अच्छा, May June 22 23, explain the meaning of each of the following. Revenue reserves. Revenue reserves are the amount of reserves created out of profit, amount kept aside from the profit which has come from the trading activities of the business, which arises from the trading activities of the business. The amount has been taken out, including general reserve and retained earnings. Next, they are used to pay dividends. They are used to pay dividends. Capital reserves are those reserves which are not created out of profit, right? They are because of the capital transactions and they cannot be used as for the payment of dividend, like capital redemption reserve, revaluation reserve, share premium. These are the capital reserves. The director of K Limited will require additional finance in 2022 to cover the cost of opening a new branch of the business. They are considering 2 options: make a further right issue of share, make a issue of 8% debenture. Advise the director which option they should choose. Justify your answer by discussing both options. Right? Justify means, advise means that you have to select one of them. You have to give conclusion also. And justify means that you have to prove that the other one is better than the previous. So debenture is basically a non-current liability, and we have already debentures already issued with us. So the our capital will be basically, capital will be contributed through outside liability, through loans, which will become our business riskier. And that non-current liability has to be repaid. Here, interest on debenture has to be repaid, which will decrease our profit, right? And in order to take debenture, we have to show our financial statements to that particular person also. Secrecy can also be compromised, right? Then for issuance of right shares, again, we have already issued right shares, but I still believe that right share is a good option because there will be no administration cost, there is no paperwork, right? The issue is made to the existing shareholders, and they will be happy because they are getting the share less than the market price, concessional price, and our liquidity issue will be resolved because we can have additional finance to open a new branch by the issue of shares, but we have to pay dividend, and it might be possible that the market price of the share might fall, right? But overall, because debenture is a non-current liability and has to be repaid back, So this right shares is going to be a permanent source of capital. It cannot be, we don't need to repay that, obviously, in general, normal way. So we will go with the right shares. We'll issue right shares. You can opt any other example also, but out of these two options, right shares will be a better choice, right? Because if we see, we have issued right shares previously, but we have issued ventures also. So if we'll go for the selection out of the two options, and right shares, the amount of right shares will become 1,60,000, and the debentures amount is 1,20,000 in the past. So we can even calculate the overall equity portion and non-current liability portion. We can take a percentage also, but that is fine. इतनी डिटेल में जाने की जरूरत जो है वो नहीं है. राइट शेयर की तरफ जो है वो ऑप्ट जो है वो कर लेंगे. तो ये मई जून 22-23 का सवाल था. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन आप घर में कीजिएगा. इट हैज कम इन अक्टूबर नवंबर 22 अक्टूबर नवंबर 22. Very easy question. It's not that difficult. Just has been distributed in different parts. That is the only thing which is main concern in this question. You will find it difficult. I will solve it for you in the next class. What is the entry for the bonus shares? Always remember that the entry for the bonus share is going to be taken out from the share premium first, and then the remaining amount will be taken from the retained earnings. Share premium debit, retained earning debit, and share capital credit. Revaluation reserve will not be used for the issuance of bonus share. 1st June 2022. I think I should solve this question also for you tomorrow, because इसमें फिर reverse जाना है ना. If you just see the question, almost same type का है. ये कब issue हुए bonus share? 1st June को. जबकि 2022, जबकि डाटा जो given है वो केवल 30 September 2020. चलें, thank you so much.